It's so simple yet so difficult at the same time. If we want to get ahead of 99% of people, we simply have to do what 99% of people won't do. Now let's first think about the things that 99% of people are doing. If we see everyone doing the same thing, it might be a good time to zoom out and analyze, one, is that even the right thing to do? And two, if everyone is able to do that thing with ease, then doing just that alone might not be enough to get ahead of 99% of people. So then what should we actually do? Well, I've compiled some of the most impactful productivity and self-development techniques into a 6-month plan that we can follow to get ahead of 99% of people in the next 6 to 12 months. So over the next 6 months, let's really try to ingrain each of these into our mindset and our lifestyle. There are 6 different steps, so you could implement one each month, and then by the end of month 6, you'll certainly be on your way to getting miles ahead of everyone else by the end of the year. Or if you want to see even quicker results, you could try implementing all 6 this month and then continue to apply and perfect each of them throughout the entire year. So you've probably already set some general goals for this year. Most people do, but if you haven't, you could go watch my How to Make 2024 into the Best Year of Your Life video that I put out a couple weeks ago. But what 99% of people don't do is anti-goal setting or fear setting. What fear setting basically is instead of, setting a goal and asking, okay, what do I want to achieve in life? You think about, what am I avoiding in life? What would be a realistic worst case scenario? Is it slaving away at an unfulfilling job for the next 50 years, sacrificing your health, time spent with friends, family, and your future kids? That's probably mine. Now, of course, we don't want to obsess over this negative mindset or this negative way of thinking, but I've found that it can be a lot more powerful of a motivator than simply just thinking about the positive goal that you want to work towards. So wherever you have your goals written out for this month, this year, or the next few years, right next to that, write out what your fears are. What are the worst case scenarios if you don't work towards those goals? And what I like to do when it comes to writing out my fears or my goals is to not just kind of write out, okay, I'm avoiding this, I'm working towards this, but write out what it feels like in the moment, in the future, when you've actually either achieved that goal, or if that worst case scenario manifested itself, what would it feel like in that moment, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when you haven't put the work in and that fear has come true and it's that worst case scenario is real? What does that feel like? Write it in first person like it's actually happening. And that will make it just a lot more powerful of a motivator and stick in your mind better. And once you do that, you can start every day by reading through your goals and your fears, or if you're ever feeling lazy or like you're lacking motivation, you can return to this document and just read through them to kind of remind yourself of that mindset that you're in right now. Because right now you're probably feeling a little more motivated. Some goals and some fears are coming to your mind, but that motivation naturally might not last, after you finish watching this video, or tomorrow, or the next day, or next week, or next month. So we want to be able to capture this moment where you're feeling more motivated and, get back into that by just reading through this document or wherever you write this stuff out. All right, the next step to get ahead of 99% of people is essentialism. Focus on attacking just a single constraint in your life. Figure out what the kink in the hose is that's preventing the water flowing through. What is the one thing holding back your entire life from progressing in the direction that you want it to? 99% of people won't do this, and they'll focus on a bunch of different things, but really if you have 10 different things that you're focusing on or prioritizing, then really none of them are a priority, and you'll probably feel really busy like you're doing stuff because you're trying to juggle all these different things, but you'll end up kind of going nowhere really slowly. Think about back as a kid when you tried to use a magnifying glass to angle the sunlight to burn some paper, or in my case, burn ants and stuff. To actually generate enough heat to start burning something with the magnifying glass, you need to focus the light onto just a tiny little point and then also keep it there. You don't just wave the magnifying glass all around randomly hoping that, something just catches on fire. That's not how it works, and the same goes for productivity in your life. Focus on one thing for a long period of time and you'll generate that heat and start a fire in a good way. A good fire. Step number 3 is to find your tribe. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals to exponentially increase your progress. We're the average of the 5 people who we spend the most time with, and in this day and age, we're also the average of the 5 people whose content we consume most. If we hang around a bunch of people who don't really care about being productive or getting their life together or fulfilling their potential as a person, then we're naturally going to start to feel some of that same energy and, not really push ourselves as much. And the same goes for the content we consume. And it's getting even trickier these days because there's so much garbage content out there that kind of hides behind, fancy editing or, powerful, charismatic speakers. But when you really peel back the mask, it's not actually helpful. They're not actually giving you any action steps or any plan that you can actually implement into your life. It's just all talk, and then they're trying to sell you some course to do something. Imagine if your closest friends and the people you talk to on a daily basis were all kind of into the same stuff as you are. They're into productivity, they're into, setting goals and, getting ahead in life. That'd be pretty awesome. Like, you would keep each other accountable. You'd see, one person achieving something that would motivate you, instead of looking down on you or like criticizing you for, working hard or like trying to, care about your productivity and self-improvement and stuff. They would, encourage you, lift you up and things like that. And that could lead to infinitely more progress and enjoyment in life. The truth is, it's hard to find these people. There's not a lot of them out there. And I mean, just think about the whole concept. We're trying to get ahead of 99% of people. So that means 99% of people that we meet are probably not going to share these same values and ideas and approach to life. Realistically, there's only going to be around 1% of people that we can relate to. And that might sound kind of discouraging, but the good news is 1% of people out of whatever, there's 8 billion people. That's still a lot of people in the world. And thanks to the power of the internet, we can easily connect with people who are like us more so than ever before. And this is honestly something that I've kind of struggled with, because I've always felt like with this whole YouTube thing, self-improvement, productivity, I've sort of been on my own and not really had a lot of people that I know personally that can relate to me and, that we can keep each other accountable and work together towards achieving our goals, which is why I started a free online community called Miles Ahead, so that I can connect more personally with you and we can start to build our tribe together. In the community, we're having discussions, community challenges, exclusive courses, live calls, Q&A sessions, work study sessions, you name it. I've got a bunch of big things planned for it. And if you join now, you'll be one of the founding members of the Miles Ahead community, and it will be free for you for life. That's the top link in the description. Just quickly go press join and come back to the video. Step 4 is to optimize your health for productivity. Most people either completely ignore their health or only care about their health for the sake of losing weight or looking good, which are legitimate reasons to do so. But if we can take it a step further and not only optimize our diet, exercise, and habits for the sake of our physical health, but also for the sake of having more energy, focus, and being more productive, we will accomplish far more in the same amount of time as 99% of people who don't take this step. So how do we do this? Well, this could be a whole video in itself, but one thing we can do is make daily exercise into more than just a habit and really ingrain it into our lifestyle. It should be so embedded into our daily life that it's like brushing our teeth or getting dressed in the morning. You don't even have to consider whether or not you'll do it that day. And besides exercise, the other thing that has made the most substantial impact on my health and productivity has been fixing my diet. And once I started eating right, I probably got 50 or 75% more things done each day, simply because I didn't have that huge afternoon crash. Step number 5. Step number 5 is to stop using lack of time as an excuse. You've definitely heard 99% of people say things like, oh, I don't have the time to go to the gym, start that YouTube channel, spend time with my family, or whatever it is. And by now we should all know that this is not a valid excuse. If you can adopt the mindset that you always have the time, but simply are not making the time, then you will feel a lot more in control of your life and feel empowered to take the actions necessary to make your life into what you want it to be. What has helped me solve all my time management issues and get over this lame excuse of not having enough time is to get some real data and raw numbers associated with how much time I have. So one thing you can do is just think about, okay, how much time you have in a given week. There's 24 hours in a day. You maybe want to sleep 8 hours a night. You maybe have work or school that takes up 8 or 9 hours. You have a few hours a day spent eating. Then how much time does that leave you? How much do you have dedicated to working out, exercising, going to the gym or whatever? How much do you have dedicated to spending time with friends and family? How much room do you have to work on that side hustle, that YouTube channel, or whatever else project you have that you want to work on? And that's kind of the first step. And like after doing that conceptually, you can probably realize that, okay, I actually do have the time to dedicate to this other thing. But if that's not enough, you can take it a step further and literally for 1 week, track exactly how much time you spend on each major thing. How much time you spend at work, how much time you spend in the gym, how much time you spend watching TV or on your phone or hanging with friends. And that way you have actual real numbers for how much time you spent on different things during that week. And that way you can't kind of just lie to yourself and think conceptually, well, I probably only spend 1 hour a day playing video games or on YouTube, when in reality it might be 2 or 3 hours. Step number 6 is to start the day by eating the frog. Even if you know what it is you need to do to achieve your goals, 99% of people simply won't put in the work for a long enough period of time to see results. And that's where eating the frog comes in. Basically, imagine that you had to eat a frog before the start of every meal. Would you want to have it at the end of the meal, halfway through the meal, or at the beginning of the meal? You would probably want to just start the meal with eating the frog and get it over with, and so that way you can just enjoy the rest of the meal. If you start by eating some yummy good food throughout the whole meal and you're just like constantly in the back of your mind dreading having to do this thing at the end of the day, you're really not going to want to eat that frog and probably won't end up doing it. And the same goes for our productivity and our life. Once we've found that one constraint and the key tasks that will help us push past that constraint, we should start every day by dedicating at least 1 hour to working on that task, and we can call that the eat the frog task. The importance of doing this first thing in the morning is it won't matter if you've got work, school, or some other special event or commitment that day. You can start the morning the same way every single day. Wake up early if you need to and get that 1 hour of focused, deep work in. Do this every day for the next year and I guarantee your life will change. Before I implemented this eat the frog method, I really struggled to make the time to work on my YouTube channel on top of my regular day job and other commitments. It was once I made that commitment to wake up early every day and dedicate that time before everything else to work on my YouTube channel and get some deep focused work done that I really started to see actual progress. I've still got a long way to go with this channel and really feel like we're just getting started. I know 2024 is going to be a huge year for all of us, and I will continue to wake up and eat the frog every single day to provide value to you, help you improve your productivity so we can all build our best lives together. One thing I've done recently to help us with this is started a free online community called Miles Ahead, and my dream with this is to really personally connect with you and discuss productivity and broader life topics so that we can all learn from each other and grow and improve our lives together. I'll be uploading high quality courses, doing live calls, community challenges, and more. At the time of recording this video, it's completely free for life for anyone who joins, but eventually it will become a paid community once we hit a certain amount of members. But hopefully by the time you're watching this video, it's still free. It's the top link in the description. Go click that right now to join. As always, do something today that your future self would thank you for.